Hello, hello, and welcome to the GoToAesthetics Coach podcast. So, for those of you who are watching on YouTube and can see the video, yes, I am sitting in my bed right now. I am feeling a little run down today. And I'm chilling in my bed. So full disclosure on that one. We just had CBAM trade show and ESI kind of back to back. I had a big client event and starting a new gig and lots of things going on. So the last 2 weeks have been insane. And I think it may be catching up to me. But I really was excited and feeling passionate about jumping on here today to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. So let's jump into it. How do you do it all? This is the most frequently asked question that I receive. And oftentimes we do feel like we need a permission slip to truly do what we want in our lives. And I want you to consider right now that this is your permission slip you can have and do it all. I promise you. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why and how through my own personal experience. So let's talk about living authentically. I'm really happy to say that right now I am currently living my most authentic life, and I do things exactly my way, which is so liberating. But this took years and years to figure out. And it starts with having no limitations, putting zero limitations on yourself, something that many of us do, even subconsciously. Society programs us with a roadmap of what success should look like. And the truth is, you are the only one who can actually define what is right for you and your life, right? And life is short. So we have to take this very seriously if we want to live our truest, most enjoyable life. And this is going to start with allowing yourself to live a heart-led, multi-passionate life where you do what truly lights you up every day, and money just becomes the byproduct. We don't live life to just make money. We shouldn't, because there's another way of doing it. We just don't know that yet completely. We lead life with fun, fulfillment, and following our heart. And that's how you could create what real success looks like. So I figured this out only a few years ago through business coaching, like mindset shifts, and a lot of internal work. Now let's talk about redefining leadership and success. So most corporations actually limit people, making them robots with one goal: to make company money. But I believe in a human-centric leadership approach where we are helping people do what makes them happy, utilizing their strengths, and creating success as the byproduct. This is how you crack the code, build the best teams, and lead an incredible life. When you operate from a place of purpose rather than obligation, you unlock an entirely new level of success. Okay, when we think about the most successful people out there, they've nailed this. The corporate world will often discourage individually, but I'm here to tell you that embracing your true uniqueness is the very thing that will set you apart. And when you follow your passion and you lean into your strengths, you will achieve fulfillment and financial success simultaneously. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey with this to share with you. So if you know me, you know I do a lot of different things, and I always have from day one. The number one question that I've been asked throughout my life is, how do you do it all? So many people have asked me this for like the last, 15 years. So from a young age, I did many things because I love being busy, and I'm obsessed with personal development. There is no better feeling in the world, well, other than your child like telling you they love you or hugging you, but there's no better thing in the world than feeling like you've accomplished something for yourself. I am addicted to that feeling. So when building my personal brand and company, writing 2 books, launching my podcast, raising my son, I still managed to win 2 national awards last year. One for the highest sales in the country and another for being Rep of the Year. Why? Because I thought outside the box, I added value, and I followed my heart with what I thought was true and right for the business and for the people, for clients. People often assume that success requires sacrifice. While I believe in discipline, I also know that balance is essential, and you do not have to give up on happiness or personal fulfillment to build a successful career. Instead, success should be a reflection of your joy and passion. A couple years ago, someone told me, I'll never forget this, and it's what's driven so much for me. Someone from the aesthetic industry texted me because they didn't like that I decided to leave a certain job that was really toxic. And they said, just so you know, you can't do it all. You can't do your marketing and sales. I chose not to include that negativity in my circle, and I did it all anyways at an excellent level. And I share this because you can too. I am no different than you. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do everything that they want. I promise you. The only real limits are the ones that we actually place on ourselves. And again, this can be done subconsciously. That's why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people, the right environment, whether it's podcasts, it's books, it's your friends, your family, it's the people. You're absorbing this constantly. The moment you realize that anything is possible, your entire life changes. So let's talk about where this stems from in me, so I can share my story with you. From a young age, I learned how to do it all because I had to. At 12, I took an active role in my upbringing. At 14, I got my first job. By 16, I was working 3 nights a week to cover some of my essential living expenses, shampoo, face wash, these things that, teenager needs. I was a nanny. And after high school, I would watch these 3 kids until 2 in the morning. And then I would go to school the next day, usually. Okay, so it wasn't about living at this point in my life. It was about surviving. And I faced emotional trauma, family struggles, and moments where I didn't know if I would be okay. But one thing is that I never gave up. And I made a conscious decision that I would always do what I wanted to do, whatever it took to make it happen. And you can change the trajectory of your life at any point, but it does take work, belief, and perseverance. Years ago, when I found out that I was pregnant at 19, I thought that this really jeopardized my future goals. I had a lot of them. I was always very ambitious. I was planning for university, for med school. I always wanted to be a doctor from the age of 6 onwards. 1, because I love helping people. 2, I'm obsessed with science and the human body. I would just read biology textbooks. I'm obsessed. I still do. I love it. And 3, because when I was young, I was like, what is the hardest thing that you can become? What is the most challenging thing that you can do when you grow up? And I thought it was doctor. So I wanted that because of that as well. I always like to challenge, but my plans changed when, not that my plans changed. My plans were feeling jeopardized when I found out I was pregnant at 19. But a doctor said to me, and I'll never forget this, why can't you still do that? And that conversation changed my life because I was like, yeah, you're right. Why can't I? I can do it all. I can. So I did. And I went home that day. I enrolled in all the courses I needed to do some upgrading in my credits to get into the program that I wanted to get into. I remember sitting there pregnant, utilizing every hour that I had. I would study for 8 to 10 hours a day. And I applied to university and I didn't get in. And then I did another semester of upgrading and then I got in. And eventually, through my journey in university, I actually realized that med school wasn't what I wanted. But I did go into some medical fields and I went along that journey and I followed my own path. And I can definitely say I'm exactly where I want to be today. And I'm so glad that I trusted this process and that I went for it and that I didn't give up, because it would have been so easy so many times to give up and take the easier route and be in a completely different place than I am now. It was just one decision away so many times in my life. Life will always throw challenges at you, and the key is going to be how you respond. You can either see obstacles as barriers or you can view them as opportunities for growth. And it can be actually exciting, even though it's hard. So during that time, I'm going to be really real with you and honest and personal here because I was so quiet about my past for so long that it feels good now to be vocal about it. I hid it from everyone. Family, friends, never ever knew to the extent to anything that certain things that I was going through or have gone through. So the reason I'm sharing this so publicly is because I've grown past this, and my hope and mission now is that if anyone is in any ever similar situation, that they can relate and that they know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, even when it seems like there isn't, and when it's so hard. So anyways, that's why I'm sharing this, because I know that this is something that is really prevalent in life, unfortunately, and many people go through it, and many people, when they are in these situations, they don't talk about it. They hide it from everyone. They play it off to pretend it's not as bad as it actually is. And you don't ever actually know how bad it is until if you get out of it. So during this time in my early 20s, when I had my son, I was in a very abusive relationship, and I didn't know if I was going to make it out, honestly. It was really scary. Every day was really, really hard. But I rebuilt myself from feeling like nothing. And I feel like after finally leaving that situation, I was rebirthed, and I had to be, because I was so broken down internally that I felt like not human. And and again, I share this because if anyone here is listening and needs to hear this, that there's a way out and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can completely change your life around. And I remember when I was in this situation just thinking, I wish there was like a reaching hand. I wish there was someone to help me that could just relate to me, or like say like, hey, I can help you. So that's why I'm doing this. You're not alone. And if this actually happens to be something that you're in and you want someone to talk to about it, reach out to me. Okay, so everyone deserves a really good life, but let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about breaking free from external validations. This is really important. So since childhood, we're really conditioned to seek external validation, good grades, getting into a good university, meeting career goals. But true transformation happens when we detach our external validation and create our own identity. So for years, I was tied to my identity for corporate success. And I felt like I had to prove that I was not a failure because all the things that I'd gone through in my childhood. Like I always felt like I wasn't enough, and that mindset wasn't sustainable. And when I left very corporate roles, I worked for some very big global companies: AstraZeneca, Allergan, L'Oreal, Galderma, very corporate. So when I left about 6 months ago, I had to completely redefine who I was. And now I lead with an internal confidence, and I no longer let others dictate my path or my identity or my worth. So the key is simple. I do what I love. My life no longer revolves around pressure and expectations. I do things that bring me joy, and success naturally follows. My mission is that I want to help you. And if you feel stuck, if you feel uninspired, or like you're just surviving instead of truly living, no matter where you are now, I promise you can change your life. And I've been in completely different places in my life, but I always found a way to rise above, even through the struggles. If you need guidance, reach out to me. Even if you don't have money or you feel like it's impossible, like I'm here for you. I want to help people transform their lives, and that is my life mission. I'm not here to get rich. That's something that, it is a goal, of course, like I have financial goals, but my true mission in life, what really means something to me, is my mission, and that's to make an impact in this world and to help people, like truly help people. And there's so many ways that we can do that. I use my skill sets that I've gained over time from a business perspective, and I want to use my personal story and my personal journey because I am someone who has had a lot of traumas in my life in different ways. Childhood, I shared like a past relationships. There's many different things. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there too have had and are in hard times. And I feel like we need to more so be open with each other with open arms and hands and talk about these things. I don't feel like I have to. I'm not embarrassed. I don't feel like I have to hide it. I feel like I'm human, and I feel like a lot of other people are going through shit in life that's hard. And I want to be someone who you can go to if you need to, even though if we don't know each other. That's what I want to do. I want to help people. So success is not about working harder. Okay. Back to this. Success is not about working harder. It's about working smarter, aligning with your purpose, and refusing to accept limitations. You are capable to do anything that you want. So if any of this resonated with you, I hope it made a difference. And I hope that you can reach out to me whenever you need about anything. It could be about life. It could be about business. I'm here for you. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend.